despite so many people spreading hate or so many people being discriminative, there are still other people actually accept the inclusiveness, diversity, and the value of human being. And when you observe those, you still remind yourself that like it actually have a meaning what we are doing. Yeah, it's challenging, but it works. One person changes his perspective, it's still a gain. Our organization is actually founded with the aim of creating more objective, pluralist, and inclusive media perspective in migration. Because unfortunately, in the last 3 years or 4 years, we witnessed like a really radical increase in the hate speech in media towards refugee and migrants, and also there is like a big spread of disinformation about many subjects regarding the refugees and migrants in Turkey. That's why like our main line of our work focus on actually providing more fact-based information and create awareness about the discrimination in media discourses. We are saying that our main goal is to create that kind of like, pluralist and objective and fact-based media perspective in migration journalism. But it's actually a really comprehensive goal to reach. That's why in the first years of our organization, we actually spent really a big amount of time to create a goal-oriented methodology. That's why we have 4 main pillars in our organization for activities that we are conducting for reaching this goal. That's why first we start with monitoring actually, because before detecting what is the disinformation or what is the discriminative content and how it is impact, you cannot build anything for preventing that. That's why we start with the examining and researching first. And in the second part, or in the second pillar, we actually create media content out of these disinformations or out of these discriminative discourses to raise more awareness and reach the general audience, to actually understand the impact of the media in their minds or in their personal perspectives about refugees and migrants. And as a third step, that as you highlighted, we of course work with journalists and media content producers, because they are actually the reflection of these discourses or discriminative ideas. Actually they reflect their views on the media content. That's why we most of the time work with them closely by providing training sessions, awareness workshops, and actually openly discuss our prejudices about refugees and migrants. Besides that, we also try to erase the gap between the Turkish media, the local media, and with the refugee migrant journalism. Because there are actually like 2 sides not speaking with each other, and actually it expands or increases the prejudices, discrimination, because both sides actually have views. That's why we try to develop a more comprehensive and inclusive solution by trying to doing that. And as the last step, in the last pillar, we say in the interdisciplinary collaborations and network building. But what we mean or what we're trying to achieve with that, actually, sometimes when you try to deal with the media and the discrimination, only the means of media or civil society are not enough. So that's why we try to instrumentalize any art and culture event or organization or academia or public institutions. That's why we try to, deal or cope with this problem in a more multi-dimensional way and more comprehensive way. But it's still challenging because, as we witness all in the world, there is a big increase in the discriminative perspectives, starting with media, unfortunately. The situations in our countries, and especially the dramatic decrease in freedom of expression, actually push us to be activists and civil rights defenders. Of course, we acknowledge and actually internalize this mission, but without that, we should actually just be journalists and do our daily work to inform the public. That's why it's a bit hard to understand and combine both in one life. When you try to swim in a wave that is so strong and comes to you directly, you won't swim directly onto it. You actually like, you know, find rocks to walk out of it, or like other paths that you can actually dismiss the wave or its strength that comes to you. So when you try to conduct journalism in that kind of directly oppressive totalitarian regimes, you also have to develop like shortcuts or any other alternative ways. That's why we also try to do that. Like, of course, the oppression is really strong and comes to you whatever you do, or whatever you prefer to achieve, or whatever you prefer to eliminate. But there are still ways, or clever ways, methods that actually we can develop as activists, also journalists, to actually cut the oppression from the other side that is not expected by them. But when it comes to the public level, like, I guess many activists, civil rights defenders, or journalists discredited because of their views or their activities to prove what is the reality or what is the truth. That's why sometimes we feel alone and tired from especially constant hate attacks, targeting, and discrimination. But when we turn back to our own networks, and when we find actually, or at least observe the impact of our work to daily lives of people, I guess this is what gives us power to continue or pursue more and overcome that loneliness. That's why I remind myself, after my work done, the reporting and the like awareness raising thing, I always check the comments of the people, actually, what they think about this work. And of course you see more hate in that kind of comments or in that kind of communications or connections while you're observing those. But sometimes you also see that, like, especially the subjects that expose to hate speech and you defend and provide a fact-based report about it, actually support you and says that, and they feel seen by that kind of content because it actually defends their right. And that's why when I check that kind of comments by saying that, thanks a lot for this report, I felt seen, I felt like I'm not alone. So I also felt that connection to that I'm not alone too, and there's a reason that I'm doing this.